Guys, we are back. Bitcoin dropped exactly as we expected, now finally to the downside. And I will show you today what I believe what are the exact levels from where we will continue to go back to the upside. And I can tell you one thing, we are closer already than you might think. Let's go. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in here. Let me actually check, do we have some people already here? Because for some weird reason, I don't see anyone. There we go. Audio cannot be weak. I know it's not weak. You need to get your audio right, not me here. Mine is fine, absolutely fine. Because I can definitely see it here. We are good. Let me actually check here something. Yeah, no, absolutely fine. So we're gonna talk now immediately about Bitcoin and what's actually going on here. If you would have watched the video that I put out 2 days ago, then you know that we were speaking about that bearish divergence that was forming. And I warned you guys, I said it hasn't played out yet. So that it was, I think, here, over here, Monday, we were here somewhere. So when we were here, I said, it hasn't played out yet. We need a proper move here to the downside. And look at here the RSI, how the RSI got rejected here and then moved now here into lower levels on this 4-hourly chart. Also on higher time frames, we are seeing the same divergence here on the 12-hourly chart. The same thing. And here is something really interesting right now. The 12-hourly chart on the stochastic RSI is kind of close already to the bottom. Not saying that over the next 22 hours we cannot get here massive continuation to the downside, but the stochastic being already that low is a strong indication that we might turn around here in the next 24 to 36 hours. On the daily chart, just want to give you a little bit perspective, guys. You should not forget that Bitcoin was here 7 months in a downwards sloping channel and has now finally broken out here to the upside. And it is absolutely normal that when we get here a violent breakout, and this was a kind of violent breakout because we moved here up really, really quickly, that we are getting at some point a correction with a potential retest of this downward sloping trend line here. So currently that would bring us back to $65,965. I believe that this might be one of the levels that we can bounce off, but there are also other levels that we need to talk about that might be a potential target here while the price is going lower. And here on the on this daily chart, also here, I just show you a little bit more confluence for the $66,000 level. Also here, the super trend ribbon that is currently in an uptrend. Also here, the top of the ribbon is here around the $66,200 level. And if we would break all the way to the bottom of it, it would bring us to $65,000. So here, that is kind of the buffer range from where I definitely expect a bounce back to the upside. Previously, I thought we would potentially go a little bit lower, like 63, 64. I don't believe that anymore because we went pretty close to $70,000. And I believe that the next bounce will come from that cluster here. And also lower time frames are suggesting that this might be the level that we should look out for, especially when we are also going here into this daily chart. We have the horizontal mid-range support cluster here. Also here you see $65,500. Would make sense if we get a wick down here into the old mid-range and bounce from here back to the upside. Here on the 12-hourly chart, again, a lot of confluence that we go down to like $66,000, $65,000 because currently here the VPVR, here that cluster, the volume traded area here, the bottom of it again, is here at $66,000, $65,800 ish. I don't believe that we will see Bitcoin moving into this gap here again, where we get acceleration into the next underlying support, which would be here and close to the point of control. That is something that I definitely don't see. And also here on the way down, see here again, 65,500, 66,700-ish. That is also now a big support zone. Somewhere in here, that is from where we're going to reverse. And that is what I expect is going to happen here next. And if you want to catch that move, guys, and you don't have yet a Bybit account, then deposit $100, get your free $500 airdrop position and trade this bounce. Set limit orders and take advantage of that by going into the pinned comment. I actually pinned it there or in the description of this video, guys. Now, when we're going to the MDX algo scalp gradient, also here you see that the charting tool here on the MDX algo has pointed out 66,600 to 67,700 as a demand area that we are currently in. We have broken below the green uptrend line, which is fine, but also here here is another underlying support level at $65,300 to $64,800. I don't believe that we go that low, because if I would draw here a horizontal line, just here, kind of here, again, $66,100 is the level to go to. Also on the reactor indicator, we're getting here early reversal indications by getting here a take profit point from that bearish reversal setup. So you see here you get reversal points, here another one. So in here, that is only a potential first short-lived reversal, potentially, and we need to see then if we get straight continuation to the upside, or if we get a rejection and continue to go a little bit lower. Now, on the liquidation levels, however, also here we are getting close to the 50 moving average. I think we actually touched it already. I have to zoom in here a little bit. No, we did not touch it, but we got really close to it to touch it. And now, of course, to the downside is where all the liquidity is in terms of being closest to the current price action. But also here, $65,800 might be a little from where we bounce, because we take out then here all these over leveraged positions. Now, a lot of people are definitely short. I'm going to showing that in a moment here, that a lot of retail traders are currently short, which is a big mistake in my opinion. So honestly, I could have traded that move this morning from $68,900-ish. That would have been a good short setup, but I was half asleep. I was just waking up when I saw this, and the first thought was, what if it teleports to 70,000? You know, so and I would be like in a high leverage scalp trade, and I would fall asleep again. I was like, not doing that, you know. So I rather let it play out, not in a position, and let this play out and catch it on the reversal back to the upside. So here, even if we would break here this level on the 4-hourly chart, the worst case that I see here, really guys, worst case, is that we go to the 200 moving average to around $64,000. But I want to mention here, that is a highly unlikely scenario right now, but we should never rule stuff like this out. So I really believe here 65,000, 566,000, that is what we need to look at. Also here on the liquidation heat map, see here, over the last 24 hours, we have taken out a lot of liquidity that was already below us. If we go over the last week, what has built up, then you see here also potentially here $65,000, again, somewhere in between there. And then most of the liquidity that has built up over the last week is taken out. And then when we go to the higher time frames again, then you see that the liquidity that needs to be taken out is still above us. Oh, actually here, 6 months. So here, we were close to tapping into it, but we did not. So this is still all above us. And on a higher time frame perspective, in terms of the liquidation heat map, there's not a lot of sense to try to drive it here below $60,000 to take liquidity here when we are so close to take massive amounts of liquidity that's stacked above us. Now, when we're going to CoinGlass to see from where that move actually came, and that's really interesting, that this move here was spot selling. But at the same time, leverage was increasing, which tells me, while the price was going down, that people started to take shorts. Look at here. So we started in that red candle here, this one here, below us. This red candle, that's where we started to increase leverage. And that is telling me that's here where people started to short the price to the downside. And at the same time, here spot bidding also stopped. And we started to sell on spot. So, but who in their right mind would sell on spot right now? You know, so it's drive it even lower with spot selling. Leverage, I understand, you know, so that, remember guys, every single time that blue line, when we touch it, what do I say? We go down, leverage gets flushed, so, or we go up, you know, depending on where we are right now. But usually when we touch this, leverage gets flushed. So that's what was happening here, or is about to happen here once again, just with the difference that this time spot got flushed when flushed. Sorry, not flashed, flushed when we got here to that high point. But here still a leverage flush is coming. And that's why I believe that we are really close to the reversal already. Because imagine that, how fucked up would it be for a trader to be here in this short while leverage is increasing? So a normal trader would not look at this, that leverage is increasing, it's just seeing prices getting lower and lower and lower. And it's like potentially in a short, let's say from up here. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm printing. This is coming down to like 64, you know. So, and now we are, nobody looks here at this, you know, that we normally flush every time. Here, down, down, down. And then we, what does the price? Reverses. Here also, reverse every single time. Or here, lower, you know. So now imagine, leverage would get flushed, shorts get flushed. That means they get squeezed, price goes straight back up. So, and then you are wrecked. So that's why I said, you know, so I look rather now at positions where I can take advantage of the next move to the upside, than rather being here, one of these guys up here right now, getting flushed to the downside. And that is also one of the reasons why my trade on ZoomX, the Bitcoin trade that I had, actually closed in profit. So you can see it here, $1,900 was the profit that I took here. I still have my limit orders here for $64,000, $65,000. I'm actually thinking about, so what did I say, 66, so there was one level at 66, 120, I think. So that is where I'm gonna take the rest of my money. So now I have everything allocated again into positions. So let's see if I get lucky enough that we touch this. Guys, don't forget on ZoomX, I will tomorrow give away another $500. You only need to deposit $100 and open one trade. Can be even $1, doesn't matter. You know, just open close. You're eligible for the $500 giveaway. And there are only, how many people are on the list? I think 20. So there's a high chance that you're actually winning. So make use of that and use the link in the description to sign up on ZoomX, because there's none in the pinned comment today, but in every other video. So, and I really like trading here on this platform overall. Really responsive. Withdraws actually really fast, you know, so I'm sometimes surprised when I take money off, how fast I get it into my wallet. So now, when it comes to altcoins, there are things that are a little bit more concerning, and that is the USDT dominance is bouncing. So, and when the dominance is bouncing here on USDT, everything else is taking a hit. Do I believe that we are coming all the way back up here to 5.46%? Not really. Do we come back up to like 5.3? Yeah, most likely. But best case scenario, if I'm right with the leverage flush, we should see by tomorrow a nice red candle to the downside, where we then potentially close under that support block here, below 5.17%. So I'm gonna have a quick look here at the chat, guys, really quick. I have to move you a little bit out of the frame. Oh, where to open a long position on Bitcoin? Yeah, I basically just did it for you guys, so I did it here on ZoomX, so these are the levels where I'm opening positions, because I don't believe that we go lower. But don't forget, guys, there's only 10x leverage on these positions. I'm not going crazy here. Look here, 10x leverage, not taking anything more, because I don't want to get liquidated, so on these kind of setups. So now let's continue here. The dominance is breaking down currently, and that is also something that we were waiting for quite a while now for, that we are topping out here. But the big question is, did we top out here at 59%, or should we expect that we are potentially getting one more run here to the upside and breaking this high? Actually, I believe yes. Currently, at the current state, I believe when Bitcoin turns around and goes in direction of $70,000, with all the liquidity that's above us to be taken out, I believe the dominance will spike one more time, higher than the 59% level. One last time before we finally go down for good. I think this is what we need to expect here. I can be wrong, and I'm gonna tell you when I believe that I'm wrong. I will believe that I'm wrong when we are breaking this upward sloping support here and close at least 3 daily candles below that upward sloping support, and not coming back to retest 58% at the same time. So if these two things happen over a 3-day period, then I will admit that I'm wrong, and that we are not seeing one more spike here to the upside. But until this happens, I expect another move here to the upside in Bitcoin dominance, which is not inherently bad for the altcoins, because I give you an example. Yesterday, if you would have watched a little bit the charts, you would have seen that, for example, ApeCoin made almost, it was over 100%, over 100% move yesterday within 2 hours, because of the mainnet launch. So there are some outliers, they don't care where the dominance is going, they just do their own thing. So otherwise, if you want to see what coins are outperforming in Bitcoin, also here in this drop currently, just go here to that spaghetti chart, and so look here, this one here, too much colors. I need, what is this? AXS. So AXS outperforming currently Bitcoin here. So 6% going up, while most of the other coins are going down. Also here, what is this? Is this Theta or Gala? FXS. So AXS and FXS are going up. Then also here, this one here, what is this? No, this was AXS. So what here, this one here. That is, Ape. Ape goes up against Bitcoin. And also here, this one, whatever is this. And Gala also currently still in an uptrend on the spaghetti chart. So here, coins that are still outperforming Bitcoin but are now in a downturn, not really looking into this, because they could continue to go down and then not outperforming Bitcoin anymore in that drop. So you don't want to be interested in these kind of coins. You only want to see coins that are actually going up. So, and these are some of the coins that you want to potentially look at. Again, I mention this every single time. When Bitcoin has a drop, you want to look at stuff like this to see what is actually outperforming Bitcoin. Then when we're looking at Ethereum, again, guys, we are still here in this resistance area. You see here why it's actually so big resistance. We tried to break out of it. Here at $2,770 yesterday, got straight rejected today, back to the downside. But as long as we are staying within that resistance, it makes a really bullish case here to break out over the next 5 to 7 days, in my opinion. So that can happen really quick. The only problem that I see here, at least on a daily chart, is that the RSI wants to go massively down. Stochastic gives the sell signal, MACD losing momentum, and price is also going down while we are at the resistance. So I would say you could definitely have some limit orders, at least here at the top of the EMA ribbon at $2,570. It's roughly a $90 move to the downside. That's like 3.5%, so it's not the end of the world. 3.5% to go down here before we see a turnaround in Ethereum. So, but what I want to mention here is that if we come that low here again, it might be the last time actually that you see Ethereum going that low for a really long time. So if you want to trade Ethereum, you should potentially take advantage of that when we come down here, before we then go here in direction of $3,000 plus really, really quickly. Then Solana. Solana is a real beast right now, a real beast. So again, if you remember, we called a secondary setup, guys, a secondary setup where you could have entered here. And I also gave you another entry here at 152, and we went straight to $171.66. So, and now the next underlying resistance, or former resistance, has already turned into support, as you can see here by the massive wick that we're currently forming here. Which is telling me that there's a lot of strength currently in Solana, but we know also where it's partially coming from. We know that it's coming from the meme coin space, but regardless, Solana really strong here. And if we can hold here that zone over the next 12 hours, expect Solana to start rallying from here. So I will personally open a Solana position if I see that happening, either a 4-hourly close above $165 or consolidation here within $162 and $165-ish. So if I see here over the next 12 hours that we are holding that, I will open a position, because Solana could teleport really, really quickly much, much, much higher. So what are the levels that I would be potentially looking at? Now, if I zoom out here a little bit, here, Fibonacci extension 1.618, $203. That is the next level that I would be looking at. I don't believe that Solana will have a huge struggle to break $188, and also not $193. But I believe the $200 mark will be again a psychological level, and therefore I believe that we could see here a quick spike slightly above it, and then it comes straight back down here under $190, goes a little bit sideways, and only then we continue to go higher. And this would be a good trade here. So if you look at this that way here, 25% to the upside if we get $162 again. Here, that kind of setup, I take this every day, guys. 25% here, and that can happen really quick. So that's the other thing, guys. This can happen really, really quick if we can hold the current price level. Then Uniswap. We are here in our green box, guys. Remember, the green box is where we want to open positions. Here on the daily chart, we have more or less already bottomed out on a stochastic RSI. Only the RSI I would like to see to turn around here. And also the MACD. We are still a little bit time today to turn around that current MACD candle here. So I would like to see this also lighter red to enter here trade. Otherwise, I will be more patient and wait a little bit, because here also on the 4-hourly chart, there's at least another 8 hours, where we could come a little bit more down and potentially get an entry at the 200 moving average here at $7.30 approximately. So I will potentially set a limit order at $7.30 just in case before I go to sleep to potentially catch it from there. So I'm gonna adjust also here on that setup my entry slightly, because I think Uniswap might be the next one that's going to start to rally like crazy. Because again, if you would have watched yesterday what happened, you would have seen that DYDX was also one of the coins that moved over 50% in a single day. So in DYDX and Uniswap, they are big competitors. The only difference is that Uniswap doesn't have leverage. But on DYDX, you can not only trade, you can also do swaps and stuff like that. And also Sushi had a run yesterday, but Uniswap didn't. So Uniswap might be lagging behind this time, because the last time Uniswap was the first one that was running, then it was Sushi, and then it was DYDX. So in this time, it might be the other way around, and Uniswap might be the last one of these three that is running. So this is also kind of stuff that I still remember and then look at when I see something like this happening. So, and here I think Uniswap has still that catch-up trade in it, where you're going to see within a day maybe also like a 30-40% move here to the upside. So you don't want to miss that, and that's why I am looking at that potential entry. So let's see that setup currently. Yeah, so you see here, if we teleport to $11.27 really quickly, that is a 55% move. I'm not saying it's going to happen really quickly, but it could technically, So when I look here at Sushi at DYDX yesterday, can happen really, really quickly. So then Rune also coming down here. Here I believe again. So first of all, I was right that we come back down below $5. I was giving you guys a possibility here. Now we risk potentially to come all the way down to $4.74. I will also place some limit orders down here, because I don't like how the stochastic RSI looks, because this can easily roll over. The RSI looks a little bit better, and the MACD is also not looking all too shabby. Plus that the EMA ribbon is still in an uptrend. So, but you see here again why that $5.23 level is such a big resistance. We tried now here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times to break it. If I count here the fake out, then even more times that we tried to break it, and every single time we failed. But at the same time, we were creating higher lows, and that is telling me that this is also a ticking time bomb. So if you draw here, come on, my drawing skills, freehand drawing skills. So if I draw here something like this, so then you see here by the end of the month, within a week, this should break to the upside. So also here, I'm getting ready to enter a position. So if we are lucky enough, we come to the original entry level at $4.75. Then I'm going to enter this from here, and then trade this into our take profit zones. Then Dogecoin pulling back here. Remember, we were talking about, I said, this cannot run forever, because we had here almost 10 days of consecutive green candles. So it's absolutely normal that this has to come down. 200 moving average is the target, in my opinion, maybe a little bit lower, maybe slightly under 12 cents. But from also here, from that zone here, I expect the next leg to the upside for Dogecoin. So I'm going to have a quick look again in the chat what's going up there. But otherwise, we are going to wrap it up here. We are now 28 minutes in. That's a good time to get going here. So just let me have a quick look here on the chat. Okay, nothing really going on here. Okay, guys, then that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in here. Tomorrow will be a regular video. I had to make a live stream because my editor is on a plane. And don't forget, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you with more money and a bounce, hopefully, tomorrow.